Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Avengers Defenders Tarot, issue number 1. This is a great example of a book that I had one feeling about all throughout until I got to the very end of the book, and then I completely changed my mind on. Will I continue reading this book? Yes. Yes, I will, because I'm very interested in what's about to happen next and kind of pleased with what I saw at the very end, at least. I'm going to get into all those horrible graphic details in a hot minute. First, let's give credit where credit's due. So the writer is Alan Davis. The artist is Paul Renard. He also does the cover. Paul Mounts does the colors, and VC's Clayton Cowles does the letters. Alan Davis and Maury Hollowell do the variant cover, and there's another variant cover by David Nakayama. Carlos Lau doing the graphic design. So, Avengers and Defenders starts off with the Invaders. Wait, what? So how does that make any sense exactly? So that was really weird. It's not the Avengers, Defenders, and freaking Invaders. Where'd the Invaders come from? Why did you start the book off with them? So, really weird decision. Plus, this bad guy shows up, Dr. Occult or whatever shows up, and you gotta pronounce it with the German pronunciation. Dude just shows up and he's like on a horse, like sneaks up on everybody with a horse. Like this must be like Nightmare's horse or something like that. From just be like, bam, I'm here in the middle of the freaking, village, town, square that you just, took over, and I super fast just teleported and you didn't hear me coming. That's just really weird. It's a little weird, all right? So anyway, he shows up and it gets weirder. He starts doing some Alohomora magical wand stuff from Harry Potter, and all of a sudden all these objects start coming to life, much like the golem stories from ancient Jewish mythology, which I think is freaking awesome. And almost every single game that I've played, RPG game that I've DM'd or been the dungeon master for, I have had the players fight some kind of a golem or have to actually deal with a golem, because golems are freaking awesome. They're great mythology. Anyway, so that was interesting. Unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing done with the golem. It's like, dude, awesome rendition, awesome colors, awesome everything. Paul Mounts, by the way, the colorist for the Immortal Hulk, which everybody loves for the most part. Yeah, just a lot of cool things that could have been cooler, but were just kind of abandoned and left behind. Parts that were just overdone. There was one of the Avengers characters winds up seemingly going crazy, but all the other Avengers are not calling him by his name, but rather calling him by another nomenclature, which I found interesting. And I'm just like, okay, these are clearly not those regular Avengers, because they wouldn't call him by this. But then it just starts dragging on, and they're really pushing it that, okay, no, yeah, he's got a name, but, we should remember that he's just, whatever. And it's like, this is so clearly not them. And like they were trying to give the impression that this guy was actually turned crazy. No, in fact, this guy was clearly the only one who wasn't crazy. And I'm just like, if you would have just hinted a little bit here and there, it could have been a nice reward for those of us who are actually paying attention. But it's literally like, I'm going to draw you a picture. And there's diagrams and paint by numbers and connect the dots. I'm like, dude, what the hell, man? It was a bit too much. It was just a bit, I'm being, straightforward here. So the whole story, everything about it, I'm just looking like, this is really weird. In fact, I swear there were so many moments I was like, I should just cut my losses. Just close this book, go read a different comic book, actually get, a good review out, because I don't want to review this until I got to the very end. I'm going to tell you the main bad guy, or at least it appears to be the main bad guy that shows up at the end of this, and it really had me like, oh, especially because of the way that this character was portrayed. I'm going to warn you when I give you the spoiler. What do you call the spoiler? No, I'm not going to spoil it for you like that. Anyway, the character was done really well, and this is a character that is not done well almost ever. Almost ever. Like first creation and a couple times after that, maybe. Almost never done well. Okay, so all that taken into consideration, I love the way that this character was portrayed so far. all right? But I'm not giving any free passes, okay? I'm going to tell you right now who the character was for the sake of conversation, because I think there's a bunch of people who will consider getting the comic book if I tell you who made this. So, spoiler coming right now. Piss off if you don't want the spoiler. Okay, here it comes. It's Diablo. Yeah, I'll actually show you in case you're wondering which one. Yeah, the guy with the alchemy and all that stuff. Here's the cover for the next issue. So that is cool. I am definitely looking forward to seeing this version of Diablo. This is the first time I saw one of these Citizen Watches where I was like, dude, I might actually get that. This looks really good. Hey, Citizen, if you want me to be one of your guys also, send me one of your watches and put me on your payroll. Take care of you, baby. Anyway, so this didn't overly elate me, but I see the ending and I see the way the character's being portrayed. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely interested. And then I go back and I start making excuses like, you know what? The guy shows up and, on the horse and nobody noticed him coming. Just diving right into the story instead of, the boring lead-in. Here's the story I got to tell. Let's get started with it immediately, as opposed to nambly-pambly trying to make sense. How does the guy get from here? He's on a freaking horse and he just showed up. Shut up, all right? I like that. Plus, they're also messing with Namor's memory again. Okay, I'm down. I'm down with this. That's a great Namor story. He's too strong to have him go up against somebody just, nambly-pambly. No, he should absolutely have to deal with esoteric threats outside of things that he can just Imperious Rex, in the jaw, right? So I'm down with that. I like that. There's a bunch of immediate reactions that I had to the book that when I got to the end, I was like, you know what? I can switch all those around for the most part. This was good. It's above average decent, all right? I'm not completely sold yet. I am sold on the next issue, though. So we're going to take this issue by issue if necessary, whatever, and we'll see what happens. Maybe this is one of those stories that they can keep me just interested enough to get to the next issue, and then they nail that landing. Cool, I'll call it a great series. Seriously, a great series. Because what else are you looking for? You want them to read the next issue, and you want to make that ending like, whole. So if all of a sudden this team is back together, and they're like, hey, we're going to write this new story, check it out, you're going to be like, well, I did like tarot. Let's check this one. Yes, for the sake of conversation, it's pronounced tarot. The last T is silent. At least it's not arrow, because that would be a superhero in a comic book manga thing. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I got exactly what I needed out of this book. This wasn't extra. This wasn't like, holy crap. No, this was exactly what I needed in a comic book. Unfortunately, it took to the end of the comic book to actually get there. So there's that. But if you're starting off knowing you're a Diablo fan, you want to see him actually in something good, go ahead. This is the book. Jump on it. Read through it, knowing that he's going to be the guy who appears at the end, and bang, you're good. Anyway, I'm done. Consider grabbing the book. It might be better in trade. Don't know yet. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.